hands. It's like being on a first date. Where do you put your hands, right?
Now, if Lori was here, she would tell you where to put your
I'm sure she would, in no uncertain terms.
Oh, and that's Lori Larson, just in case anybody's wondering.
Just in case there's any miscommunication. Yeah, it's you, Lori. If you're tuning in, you know who you are.
She's going to kill us. Oh. All right, okay.
She's going to throw her underwear at me that one time. That's a story for another day, however.
That's definitely another day.
That's another day.
Probably not through YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
That Lori, she's dirty.
Yeah, that's no judgment. That's just the truth. Yeah.
Just awareness. Maybe these videos should be about other people.
Absolutely. Absolute, just pure inquire nonsense.
Right? I mean, just use our awareness, because we're very aware.
Who do we want to make stuff about this week? Yeah. What are we talking about this week?
Oh, okay. So, what do you do when things don't go the way that you planned?
Things don't go the way that you planned. Well, most times that's when people fold up their tent and just quit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this is the way it has to be. I've seen it in my mind. I was told by a good friend that this is the way it should go, and it didn't go this way, damn it, so I'm out.
Yeah, and where's the awareness in that? Where's the questions in that?
Zero.
Yeah, and it's just the cut and dry, or they see somebody else that has been successful doing something, so they go and try to do the exact same thing. And I've been saying it for years, people really just tap into the energy of when people are doing what they love to do, and they assume that it's what they're doing is what gives them that energy. It's because they're doing what they love to do instead of that. So it's really, from my point of view, using your awareness every step of the way, and even if it's not the way that, I'm talking from experience, the way that you thought it was going to be, even if it was through questions and awareness, it's like there's always, if you follow the lightness when you ask a question, there will always be something greater. It just maybe in that moment you can't see it.
Absolutely, because if you're following somebody else's template or somebody else's diagram or somebody else's success, let's say, then really if we're following Access, then really who does that belong to? That doesn't belong to us.
Yeah.
We're once again trying to pack ourselves into a mold or into a box and fit somebody else's thing. And how many times have we seen that on TV? Follow this system and get my results. Follow this sales course and get these sales results. When that worked for that person, when that person can be completely different than me. We spend our hard-earned money and time and effort, and we don't get the same results, and we become disgruntled. It's just like, as Glenyce said before, when you're doing what you do, the way you do it, the energy flows through you, rather than saying, I have to do it like someone else. It's almost like you would be projecting a lie through this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and if you don't have that energy of connection, from my point of view, when you're doing whatever it is you're doing, it doesn't matter if you're selling cars or if you're selling clothes or just talking to people through counseling, whatever it is you're doing, if you don't have that energy, there will be like a message of a lie to the person that you're working with. So it just kind of messes you up a little bit, and it doesn't mean you have to love everything you do, because there's a lot of times where we have to do things that we can't love or not can't love, but just aren't going to love.
Yep.
There's bits and pieces, but it's about choosing it in that moment as opposed to saying, well, it's not what it's supposed to be, it's not what I planned it to be, or Chris's favorite, it's not what I expected it to be.
Oh, I hate that word, expect. Yeah, and we have to follow the so-called rules of reality. I mean, I got to wear pants to work every day. I mean, that doesn't mean I want to wear pants every day, but got to wear them, right?
Like if
so,
you
so at the end of the day, there's things that we have to follow, but at the end of the day, we can still be us. And if we're not us, how many times have you been in a sales presentation or went to buy a vehicle, as you said, or had someone try to sell you something, and you knew they just weren't genuine?
Yeah.
Well, you're turned off in the first 28 seconds. You're like, this person doesn't have his best interest in mind or mine or anybody's. He's just trying to give me some sales pitch to get my cash. And the people that maybe aren't salesy, so to speak, or what you maybe have a preconceived notion what a salesperson is supposed to be like, but they're just true. They're true to themselves and true to the product. It's the easiest sale ever. People say, where do I buy? Where do I sign? Here's my credit card. I'll take 3. So.
True story.
There you go.
Well, there's our message for the week.
Keep your pants on. Be real. There you go. Be careful out there. Unless,
there's some who shouldn't keep their pants on. Just
yeah, no, for sure. Maybe some that should wear 2 pairs. I don't know. Guys like me.